Beneath the towering skylines and neon lights lies a hidden struggle. Never makes it into the travel guides. From New York to Los Angeles, a growing homeless crisis is reshaping the very fabric of American cities. Why are thousands forced onto the streets in some of the world's wealthiest places? What dark truths lurk behind the economic divide? At NVL Travel Documentary, we uncover the raw, unfiltered facts about countries' unsurvival, inequality, and the fight for dignity. This isn't just a country documentary, it's a journey into the shadows of the city. Ready to see the truth? Let's begin.
You guys are funny.
You're funny, Billy. You're finished it.
Number 1. America's homeless crisis. The hidden struggles behind the numbers. Homelessness is not just a number on a report. It is a profound crisis that affects real people, each with their own struggles and untold stories. As of the year 2025, more than 650,000 Americans are homeless on any given night, marking a 12% increase from just 2 years ago. This growing emergency stems from a complex web of economic, social, and political challenges, making it one of the most pressing humanitarian issues in the country today. At the heart of the crisis lies skyrocketing housing costs. In cities like San Francisco, New York, and Los Angeles, median rent prices have surged by more than 30% in the last 5 years. Pushing even middle-class earners to the brink of financial ruin. A staggering 11 million Americans now spend more than half of their income on rent, leaving them one emergency away from losing their homes. Meanwhile, wages are not keeping up. The federal minimum wage has remained at $7.25 per hour since the year 2009, while inflation continues to rise. Even in states with higher minimum wages, the cost of living far outpaces earnings, forcing many to work multiple jobs just to survive. Beyond financial struggles, mental health and substance abuse disorders play a significant role. Nearly 40% of the homeless population suffers from untreated mental illnesses, yet public funding for mental health services remains woefully inadequate. Overcrowded shelters and overflown social programs leave many without access to critical care, trapping them in a cycle of instability. Economic inequality is another key factor. The wealth gap in America is at its widest in more than 50 years, with the richest 1% holding more wealth than the bottom 90% combined. As the cost of living rises, social safety nets, such as affordable housing initiatives and emergency assistance programs, have failed to keep up with demand. Being homeless is not just about lacking shelter. It is about losing stability, dignity, and opportunity. Without a home, finding a job becomes nearly impossible. Without an address, applying for government aid is an uphill battle. Many homeless individuals have no family support, no savings, and no clear way out.
You want water?
The crisis will not fix itself. Without meaningful policy changes, better mental health care, and an overhaul of housing policies, America will continue to see homelessness rise. It is time to shift the conversation, not just seeing this as a statistic, but as a human crisis that demands urgent action. Number 2. Homeless hotspots in the U.S. The dark side of major cities. In New York City, the stark contrast between immense wealth and deep poverty is profoundly evident, particularly in areas like Manhattan, Brooklyn, and the Bronx. Manhattan's. As the world's financial capital, Manhattan boasts towering skyscrapers and luxury apartments. Yet, beneath this opulence lies a harsh reality: thousands of individuals experiencing homelessness. The exorbitant rents and high cost of living have pushed many into precarious situations. As of January in the year 2024, more than 132,000 individuals sought refuge in New York City's homeless shelters, marking a staggering 53% increase from the previous year. This surge underscores the city's deepening economic divide, where shelters and makeshift camps exist in the shadows of affluence. Brooklyn. Once known for its affordability, Brooklyn has undergone significant transformations. Neighborhoods like Bushwick and Flatbush have experienced rapid gentrification, leading to the displacement of longtime residents. The influx of new developments, often labeled as affordable luxury, has ironically made housing less accessible to the original communities. This trend reflects a broader urban issue: economic growth at the expense of affordability. Many residents, unable to keep up with rising rents, find themselves facing homelessness. The Bronx. Rich in cultural history, the Bronx grapples with profound economic inequalities. The borough has been identified as having some of the highest threats to affordable housing in the city, with 8 out of its 12 community districts flagged for such risks. Public services often fall short, leaving many without resources for stable housing. However, amidst these challenges, local organizations like BronxWorks work tirelessly to support displaced individuals, offering hope and assistance to those affected by these systemic issues. In Los Angeles, the juxtaposition of extreme wealth and deep poverty is starkly evident, particularly in areas like Skid Row and Venice Beach. Skid Row, this neighborhood officially known as Central City East, spans approximately 4 square miles and has long been synonymous with homelessness in America. As of the year 2024, the Greater Los Angeles homeless count reported that Skid Row was home to 3,791 individuals experiencing homelessness, with 2,112 of them unsheltered. This area underscores systemic challenges in public policy, mental health care, and the scarcity of affordable housing. Despite these hurdles, there has been notable progress. The count in the year 2024 revealed a 14% decrease in overall homelessness and a 22% drop in unsheltered homelessness in Skid Row compared to previous years. Venice Beach. Known globally as a vibrant tourist destination, Venice Beach also grapples with a significant homeless population. The contrast between upscale beachfront properties and nearby tent encampments highlights Los Angeles's economic disparities. Efforts to address homelessness in this area have seen mixed results. While there has been a reduction in visible encampments, studies indicate that the number of unsheltered individuals without any form of shelter, such as tents or vehicles, has risen to 46% of the total homeless population in Venice. This shift presents challenges for social services striving to support the unhoused community while preserving the area's appeal to tourists. In various cities across the United States, the stark contrast between affluence and poverty is vividly illustrated through their unique homelessness challenges. Fremont Street, Las Vegas. Renowned for its vibrant neon lights and bustling casinos, Fremont Street also conceals deep economic struggles. The transient nature of Las Vegas, coupled with economic instability, contributes significantly to homelessness in the area. The juxtaposition of wealthy tourists against struggling locals underscores the city's socio-economic divide. Capitol Hill, celebrated for its progressive culture and creative scene, Capitol Hill faces soaring housing costs that have led many to live in makeshift conditions. Despite efforts by local organizations and shelters to address the issue, the demand for affordable housing far exceeds available resources, exacerbating the crisis. Phoenix, Arizona. Experiencing rapid growth, Phoenix's economic expansion has not benefited all its residents. The harsh desert climate makes homelessness particularly perilous. Near the year 2024, Nearly 600 unhoused individuals died in the metropolitan Phoenix area, highlighting the widening gap between development and social welfare. 30th Street Station, Philadelphia. As a major transportation hub, 30th Street Station has become a refuge for the homeless. Commuters and travelers often share space with those seeking shelter within the station, illustrating how modern infrastructure intersects with social struggles. Philadelphia has seen a rise in homelessness for the third consecutive year, with approximately 5,200 individuals experiencing homelessness, an increase of 10% from the previous year. Tenderloin. San Francisco. Situated in downtown San Francisco, the Tenderloin neighborhood has one of the highest rates of homelessness in the city. Despite San Francisco's tech wealth, the city has struggled to provide basic housing solutions. In the year 2024, the overall homeless population grew by 7%, reaching approximately 8,300 individuals. This disparity exposes the deep economic inequalities within the city. These urban narratives highlight the complex and multifaceted nature of homelessness across the United States, reflecting broader systemic issues that require comprehensive and compassionate solutions. Number 3, the root causes of homelessness. What's really driving the crisis? Homelessness is not just about people losing their homes. It is a complex crisis rooted in deeper systemic failures. Let us break it down. First and foremost, the lack of affordable housing is the biggest driver of homelessness. Major cities across the United States simply have not built enough housing to keep up with demand. In fact, a report from the year 2025 by the National Low-Income Housing Coalition states that the country is short by 7,300,000 affordable rental homes for extremely low-income renters. With skyrocketing rents, many working-class individuals are just one financial setback away from losing their homes. On top of that, the rising cost of living is making it harder for people to stay afloat. Over the past 5 years, inflation has surged, with essentials like food, healthcare, and transportation rising by an average of 18%, while wages have only increased by 11%. This gap forces many families to choose between paying rent and meeting basic needs. If someone loses their job or faces unexpected medical expenses, they can quickly spiral into homelessness. Then there is the issue of mental health and substance abuse, which often go untreated. According to the National Alliance on Mental Illness, nearly 30% of homeless individuals suffer from a severe mental illness, and 35% struggle with substance abuse disorders. Without proper support systems, they remain trapped in a cycle of instability. Many cities lack mental health facilities and outreach programs, leaving vulnerable individuals without access to the care they desperately need. Economic inequality is another key factor. While the wealthy continue to accumulate more assets, low-income workers are left behind. The top 10% of earners in the United States control nearly 70% of the country's wealth, making it increasingly difficult for low-income individuals to escape poverty. When wages stagnate while the cost of living soars, financial security becomes a privilege rather than a given. Government policy failures further fuel the crisis. Many assistance programs, such as Section 8 housing vouchers and emergency rental aid, are either underfunded or difficult to access. In the year 2024, only 1 in 4 eligible families actually received federal housing assistance due to a lack of funding. Outdated policies fail to address modern economic realities, leaving thousands without a safety net. Finally, personal circumstances like domestic violence, family breakdowns, and trauma can push people into homelessness. Studies show that nearly 50% of homeless women cite domestic violence as the main reason they lost stable housing. Without support networks or financial independence, escaping abusive situations often means ending up on the streets. When we look at these root causes together, it is clear that homelessness is not just an individual problem. It is a systemic issue. Until cities, governments, and communities step up with real solutions, the crisis will only continue to grow. Number 4, solutions to homelessness. Can we end this crisis for good? Homelessness is not an unsolvable problem. It just needs the right approach. So, what can actually be done to get people off the streets and into stable lives? Let us explore some proven solutions. 1. Housing solutions, a home first, then everything else. The housing first model has shown incredible results. Instead of making people meet strict conditions before getting housing, this approach gives them a permanent place to live first, and then helps them rebuild their lives. Cities like Houston have reduced homelessness by more than 60% in the past 10 years using this method. But there is a catch. We need more affordable housing. Right now, there is a shortage of 7,300,000 affordable homes for low-income renters in the United States. If cities invest in building more units, especially in high-demand areas, we can start closing this gap and preventing more people from becoming homeless. 2. Healthcare and support services, treating the root causes. Did you know that nearly 30% of homeless individuals suffer from untreated mental illness? Expanding mental health services is critical. More counseling, addiction treatment, and crisis intervention programs can help break the cycle of homelessness. Even better, we can integrate housing with healthcare. Some states have tested programs where housing providers work alongside medical professionals, offering on-site mental health care and addiction treatment. The result? Fewer hospital visits, fewer relapses, and higher long-term stability. 3. Job training and economic empowerment, a path to stability. A job can change everything, but many homeless individuals lack the skills or experience to find stable employment. That is why employment programs are crucial. Cities like San Diego have launched initiatives that provide job training in industries like construction, food service, and technology, helping people gain independence. At the same time, we need better economic policies. Raising wages and providing tax incentives for businesses that hire formerly homeless individuals can make a massive difference. Did you know that 46% of homeless people actually have jobs, but still cannot afford rent? Bridging the wage gap is essential. 4. Community engagement and policy reform, it takes a village. Nonprofit organizations, shelters, and faith-based groups play a crucial role in supporting the homeless. But they need more funding and better coordination with local governments. Strengthening these organizations means more food programs, shelters, and transitional housing options. Finally, we must demand government accountability. Quick fixes like clearing encampments will not solve anything. We need long-term commitments from lawmakers. That means funding real housing solutions, improving access to mental health care, and creating economic opportunities. So, what's next? Now, here's the big question. Do you believe homelessness can be solved? The truth is, we already have solutions that work. We just need to commit to them. If cities and communities take action, we can turn the tide and help thousands of people rebuild their lives. What's your take on these solutions? Let's talk in the comments. Number 5. Reflections from the documentary, Is Homelessness a Personal Failure or a Systemic Issue? Watching this documentary was an eye-opening experience. It did not just show the struggles of homeless individuals, it challenged everything we think we know about homelessness. Too often, society sees homelessness as a personal failure. We hear phrases like, "They should just get a job," or "They made bad choices." But the reality is far more complex. The documentary reveals heartbreaking stories of families forced onto the streets after medical emergencies, veterans suffering from post-traumatic stress disorder with nowhere to turn, and full-time workers who still cannot afford rent. Did you know that nearly 40% of homeless people actually have jobs? That fact alone shatters the myth that homelessness is just about laziness. It is shocking to think that in America, a country with an economy worth $27 trillion and home to more billionaires than anywhere else, more than 650,000 people are homeless on any given night in the year 2025. How is it possible that a nation known for its innovation and wealth still struggles with such deep inequality? The truth is, homelessness is not an individual issue, it is a societal failure. It is a result of skyrocketing rents, stagnant wages, lack of mental health support, and outdated government policies that simply do not address modern realities. But despite the harsh realities, the documentary also showed something incredibly powerful: hope. Across the country, countless individuals and organizations are fighting for change. Cities that have embraced the housing-first model, where people receive stable housing before anything else, have seen homelessness drop by as much as 60%. Communities are stepping up, from non-profit shelters to grassroots job programs that help people rebuild their lives. These efforts prove that solutions exist. We just need the commitment to make them happen. So here's the big question. If you believe homelessness can be solved, comment 1. If you think it is impossible to fully solve, comment 0. The stories of resilience, courage, and transformation prove that change is possible. But it is up to all of us, government, businesses, and communities, to step up and take action. What do you think? Let us discuss in the comments. Homelessness is not just a statistic. It's a humanitarian crisis that reflects the deeper economic and social challenges we face today. From the skyrocketing cost of living to the lack of affordable housing and mental health support, the root causes of this issue are deeply embedded in our society. But as we've seen, solutions do exist. Cities that invest in housing-first programs, mental health services, and economic reforms have proven that real change is possible. At the end of the day, homelessness is not just about lacking shelter. It's about losing stability, dignity, and opportunity. The question is, what can we do about it? Raising awareness is the first step. By having conversations, supporting local initiatives, and holding policymakers accountable, we can work toward a future where everyone has a place to call home. If this documentary has given you a new perspective, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to NVL Travel Documentary, and hit the notification bell for more in-depth explorations of global issues. What are your thoughts on this crisis? Comment below and let's keep the conversation going. Your voice matters.